Alright, feel free to get in, and then we'll get started. I'm going to pop this back to where it belongs.
Roger.
So, we're going to be going over some radio communication, going into Chinook capability and capacity, taxiing, hovering, takeoff, landing, HLS landing procedures, and some basic sling loading.
Okay.
Course kind of runs like this, okay? So, yeah, you're going to have a lot of this tonight, my brain. Right, so basically, we go through every section. If you want to do more training, you can just say, hey, I want to do a little more practice on this. If you're very happy with it and you just want to get moving on, then just say, like, let's get moving on, right? After when we move on to every single practical thing, I've introduced all the theory I need to introduce, or I should be, right? So then you can just move me on, or if you want to stay and do a little bit more, that's fine. Obviously we need to complete the course, but I have no time limit myself. You may have a time limit, so we'll have a little look, but just don't feel like, if you want to spend some more practice on the hovering and then we want to do a little bit less on some other stuff later, then, we can do that, okay?
Okay, sure.
This course is mostly just introducing all the different things, telling you about all the different things, and doing a little bit of practice, but majority of practice will be on server, right?
Okay.
The majority of the practice, the experience, the knowledge will all be gained on server. So it's not a massive priority of myself if you don't do tons and tons of practice of one thing. It's going to be a thing of practicing on server, practicing in your own time, to make sure you're all good. So radios, the first bit is all about co-pilot communication because it's not actually in any other course anywhere and it needs to be documented somewhere. So this is the kind of excuse out of putting it in there rather than making a whole co-piloting course or the rest. So I'm going to move past that nice and quickly because I am confident that you know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I will be sending you some screenshots and stuff via DMs if that's alright.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Cool. Firstly is our pro words. So I'm sure you've heard some of these before. So we got, bogey, unknown, and then bandit is definitely confirmed, brevity, the rest. Obviously scramble, we know about that. The main ones you'll hear here in terms of our stuff is obviously bandit, bogey, RTB, scramble, and then bingo. Bingo fuel, I really like to use bingo fuel. It's kind of just a nice, fun, rare one, but we don't get our fuel that low. On the bird, fuel will show orange at 50% and red at 30%. When it gets to 30% fuel, that's when I call my bingo and I say, I'm not expecting any more tasks. I'm not accepting any more tasks until I've got fuel. That's what the bingo means to us, right? We're at a minimum fuel state. We're heading back to base. With these mert on board, they're going to have to wait because we're definitely going to get fuel before we do another tasking. That's the main thing that should be understood with the bingo. Sadly, we don't use it that much because we keep our fuel levels up, but there are nights where you keep going and you don't focus on your fuel and you end up with done. So, yeah. Cool. Then we have our typical air traffic communications, as such.
Mm-hmm.
So the main ones we expect is you're spooling, you're taxiing or you're taking off, you're coming into airfield, and spooling down is optional, not a major thing. If you're doing anything out of the order, so you're going to a certain path that you don't normally go to, or you're heading towards a certain part of the base you don't normally go to, obviously call that out as well. All of that is ideal. I'm just going to message the Apaches to me about and say on 2-4 please, and I'll have you do 2-4 comms. Young Ship 1-1 signing on preset 2-4. Cool, I've just told them to be on 2-4. I'll also be on it at any point you are doing something that you can't do it, just shout and I'll do it for you.
Okay.
So traffic communications, that's that. Obviously there's a few niche parts when we're out in field, so not doing things like that. Obviously as the pilot you'll also be the lead of the bird, so myself as flight lead or other flight leads will always use 2-4 to also communicate to you, asking questions on tasking status, your plans and things like that. Obviously also different things like, when birds are going down, things like that. All those things need to be taken into consideration. So your main comm is obviously the airfield, but you've also got those type of things. And when we're out in field, things, for example, like we've got 2 birds coming into 1 HLS, I think we did that on Wednesday. That's when we want birds to be on net. So for example, I'm sat on net, I'm sat on HLS, you're coming in behind me. I'm going to call up and say, right, okay, I've got enough room for your hair behind, or HLS is looking tight, you might need to go around, I'm going to be lifting in a minute. And then I'll call when I'm lifting, and then 1, 2, you can just acknowledge and the rest. So those are the points when we really want that communication to be just very fluid between the birds, rather than none at all, especially when operating such a small area. I think that covers most of it. Most of it, again, is to pick up from experience and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But more communication is better than no communication normally. It's probably the best thing to say.
Okay.
I'm going to join a group quickly. Cool. Right, moving into Chinook capability and capacity. So to begin, we have factors affecting lift performance. So lifting capability of Chinook will change in different areas, either within the area of operations or as deployed around the world. So we have things such as altitude, temperature, humidity, wind, and fuel. So rotor efficiency will decrease at a higher altitude, so more power. Higher air temperature will have a negative effect on the power output, so higher air temperature will mean a reduced lift capability. So humidity, same thing. High humidity, lift capability decreases. Wind, so wind will increase rotor lift without increasing engine power. And then your fuel, obviously, is the weight of fuel required to fly the mission. Factors such as distance and emergency fuel reserves may reduce the lift capability. So we can take 34 people in ArmA, 24 stretchers in real life, but in ArmA there's only 4 displayed for that. And then, I actually didn't put the slots, did I? But I think there's 16 ArmA slots, and so an empty pallet is worth 2 slots in the bird, so you can take 8 empty pallets and different items when you load them into the cargo. Ace cargo is different amount of slots, but like a body bag I believe is 1, so then we can load 16 body bags and stuff like that.
Okay.
We never really get there. It used to be a maximum of like 6, and we used to always have problems filling it up before it finally got changed after like 5 operations of asking, and now we just don't have the problem anymore. which is a great thing to have, really. I think we used to be only take like 6 body bags, and maybe we had like 7, so it'd be like we'd go in, take them, and then go back for just 1 more body bag. It's just, yes, I shouldn't can only take 7 body bags. Right. And an external cargo capacity, so per each hook, so the forward hook can take 7,700 kilograms, the main can take 11,800 kilograms, the aft can take the same as the forward, so 7,700, and then the main and aft combined is 10,400 kilograms. Obviously, ArmA related, we can't carry anything with more than 4 wheels. Except the little thing with more wheels, little like quad bikey thing.
Yeah,
What's it called? Yeah, that weird one. But yeah, typically ArmA stuff goes out when we have more wheels than that. There's a few things we can carry. It's just very niche. But either way, that's kind of the way to know, to say, yeah, no, I can't carry that. Obviously you can try, but trying to lift some of these heavy things ends up in Chinook blown up, so yeah. Typically it's good to just say, look, that has more than 3 wheels, I'm not lifting that. No, more than 3, more than 4.
I know what you meant.
yeah. Cool, right, that's enough of that stuff. So we're going to get into proper doing some flying and stuff. Well, the first hour or so is taxiing and hovering, but yes. Any questions on any of that?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Alright, so taxiing. So firstly, all Chinook pilots must be able to taxi around an airfield, allowing us to fly within... That makes no sense at all. I'm just not going to say that. Right, obstacles while taxiing. So with the Chinook being a large airframe, that being 99 feet or 31 metres in length and 60 feet or 19 metres in width, airfields that contain a large amount of obstacles where Chinook may come into contact with is an issue. So obviously, for example, around us we have things like the light poles, some of the hangars, other airframes, vehicles, all of that to be considered with our rotor diameter. The Chinook as a whole is honestly fairly kind of small for what it is able to do, but our rotors is obviously our main thing that can cause issues.
Yeah.
So ground taxiing. So the Chinook can taxi on most terrain, such as concrete and dirt taxiways. This also includes dry fields where it may be more efficient to ground taxi rather than hover around a large H-slast. So for example, you're coming in and doing one thing. Say for example we're picking up a company on a big field. You come in and do one thing, but you want to get in a better position. Rather than hovering over, you decide I can taxi over. That'll be just roll over nice and easy. When ground taxiing, it's important that the crew cautious provide full spatial awareness, so you still want your crews doing your normal call-outs, potentially someone on your right and left looking out for obstacles, and those call-outs are quite useful. The Chinook is obviously a rear-steered aircraft, so the airframe will pivot around the front landing gear. Usually a small amount of collective will allow the aircraft to begin to move forwards. To slow down, tapping on and off the wheel brakes will bring the Chinook to control stop, and typically you want to be tapping on and off the wheel brakes to control your speed. So again, I'll reiterate, to start rolling, just a little bit of collective and maybe slight cyclic, but typically you don't move your cyclic at all.
Yeah.
Then you can get yourself moving, and then to control it you want to be tapping on and off the brakes, and bring us to a stop, tap on and off the brakes. If you do just tap on the brakes, the Chinook may decide I just want to go and slide to one side and the rest. And if you do reach higher speeds, then this thing does like to just go towards one side or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right onto alpha, left on the 04 left, and then we're going to go a little bit more forward, then we'll stop, and then we'll move into a hover taxi the rest of the way. And our aim is going over to the international airport apron area where we'll be going over some hovering stuff.
Okay.
Alright, so you're good to spool us up, and good to make sure you've got all of your stuff working.
Yep. We'll guarantee it won't be, but we'll find out. 4611 spooling out. It's interesting, the hood on this doesn't give you the option for metric and imperial like the Juno does.
Does it not?
No, I went to do it automatically and it's not there. But I can set it as red. That's new.
Yeah.
Where have you gone? Oh, there you are.
I meant back.
So my ground taxi in this.
After inside has crashed. Okay, didn't. Right, whenever you're ready.
So am I ground taxi and a hover taxi?
We're ground taxiing, so...
Okay. There we go. Right power coming on.
Forward and right. So just watch that nose.
Yeah, so
or
as soon
going
as you
down.
put in the collective eye, it's not moving, so I'm just wondering whether or not.
Then you need a little bit more collective to get us going then.
There we go.
Watch our rear wheels are picking out
They
off
are
the
lifting,
ground.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Our wheel brakes off.
Yeah, I think so.
Are they showing in the top left?
No. Why not? Oh, so yeah, it's moving now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep,
There you go.
you're moving now,
That's
and
what
you're
it
all
should be.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. So typically, maximum speed is about 10 when ground taxiing like this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right turn and we'll follow all around on Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
So remember,
Initially it doesn't turn really, does it? And then once it starts going, it picks up a lot of
Yeah.
momentum. Yeah.
yeah. So remember, we're rear steered, so you need
Yeah.
to. You can turn much later in the corner and keep us going.
Are there nose wheels? Are we basically sat right over the nose wheels on this?
You're sat forward of nose wheels.
Forward of them, okay.
Yeah. Forward by about a metre, maybe
Yeah.
1.5 metres.
Okay.
I actually don't know. I'm sure I can find out a weight and balance chart somewhere. It gives all the troop and forward tank position. It doesn't give gear positions. That's annoying. Well, I guess it. Why would it? It's not a moving thing, is it? That's true.
That's strange. Really picked up speed then.
Yeah.
All I was doing was just slightly turning right, and now it's got nothing. I didn't even touch the collective. But why is it pulling right?
Have you got your left click of trimming?
Now.
Might help you. Normally it's flying rather than the taxiing though.
I'm sure those rear wheels are coming up.
You should be able to tell by seeing the front go down. That's when you're aware.
So it's definitely down, isn't it?
No, the rear wheels are up in the air.
What if the wheel brakes came back on? There we go. Yeah, I think something's sat on the pedals that I haven't noticed. No, it's not left here. That was far down as I thought it was.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll keep going. Yes, turn left and then go another I don't know, 10 meters and then stop and then we'll go into a hover taxi for the rest of the way.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, hover taxiing. So hover your taxi in the Chinook is done in the same fashion as Juno, albeit within a larger airframe. So the Chinook's heavy weight will also require different hovering adjustments, so around 75%.
Okay. How far did you want me to go down again, sorry?
To be fair, about here's fine.
Okay. So that's not done anything.
Yeah, slow us down. And then, any questions about hover taxiing?
No, I don't think so.
Cool. Right, you're good to bring us up in a hover taxi then.
Because with this, you're lifting the nose off quite a bit first before it goes up, don't you?
Yes, you really do.
Let's
Which
give
we're
it a go.
focusing a lot more on in a minute, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, power coming on. That's interesting. My HUD's giving different number readouts than what it's showing on the top left, but they're not that out as it's. I mean, it's not like imperial metric thing. It's just they're just wrong. So my height's showing as 11 on the HUD and 8 on the top left, but the speed's the same.
It's probably because it's height over sea level.
So that's modelled accurate on this because the Juno doesn't do that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's because this displays height over sea level, the Chinook on the HUD, which you'll then get, and because we're quite close to the sea, that probably makes sense.
Yeah. It's going to be all those little things like that. It's going to be so different, isn't it?
So yeah, we'll take the next left.
Okay. Whereabouts do you want me to put it down?
If you want to face us towards the kind of northeast, or just, currently, just face us down all of the taxiways and right in the middle. So basically a space where we have tons of space to go do some hovering and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of face us along the taxiway here, and then move us to right in the middle of this whole big concrete area.
Down here, you say?
Yeah, just maybe on this 4 number pad is probably the best spot, right in front of us.
Yep, sing. Alright, safe on deck.
Cool, we'll keep it spooled. Right, so our hovering. So, weight. So the Chinook's weight will vary depending on the task that's being performed. For example, Chinook with platoon worth kicked infantry or lifting husky will require different adjustments via the collective. Often I say the main thing doing controlling in the Chinook is the collective, and it's kind of very true. It's going to be your main point of what you're going to be changing. And a lot of people don't believe how often they actually have to change it, but I am changing it basically all the time during all flight of the Chinook. All stages of flight I'm moving it all the time. Well, maybe except transit where it's 400%, but otherwise the rest of the time it's constantly changing and constantly moving. So yeah, as you alluded to earlier, the Chinook's pitch will obviously come up a lot before lifting. This is the main takeaway out of this course really, is being able to lift with 0 speed forward or backwards. It's the main thing that you need to master. The second you master that in a Chinook, you're an amazing Chinook pilot, right? Because it's the most needed thing out of everything. For understanding loads, lifting potential lessons, lifting from pads, and everything basically. All Chinook flying relies on you being able to lift with no speed forward and backwards. So that's the main thing I kind of drill into people, and the main importance. And if you're not hitting it, then you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, when lifting from the surface, the Chinook's pitch will have to adopt a higher angle to hold any forward movement. It's important to new pilots to learn how to adopt this angle, focus on lifting vertically. When within a hover, the Chinook's nose will be pitched up, with the lowest part of the aircraft being the rear ramp. This is hence why the load master provides height controls throughout hoverings and landings, as they will always contact the surface first. So, would you like to either do one of these two things? Either I jump in and I demonstrate the angle, demonstrate lifting, or we can do a little bit of me telling you how far to bring up the bird, and then when we're at that angle, then me explaining how to lift.
I think you demonstrate first, and then
Cool.
yeah, so I can know what to refer to.
Alright, just jump out the bird quickly.
Right. Right. Has that worked?
Yeah. Hang on, trying to set up already, which is awesome. Alright, and the controls are working. Awesome, they are. Cool, so I start out, I'm full backwards, and then bringing us up to around an angle like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the second, so I'm at 50% collective, 50% collective, bring me out to an angle about here, and now I'm starting to lift, and I'm starting to bring, that's honestly pretty bad, but I start to bring my cyclic slightly forward just to bring us in line, just to bring us up vertically. So again, and, oh, why am I terrible? This is the thing now, is that and I've got all the fresh from the south. We're up, vertical, and then just lifting, and just focus on our hover from there.
Yeah.
Like, when you're actually jumping in a hover on a Chinook, it's extremely easy to hover over compared to the Juno.
Yeah.
It's lovely to hover, but until you're at that, until you're up with it 0, then yeah, that was pretty poor. Why am I terrible at this today? Again, it's all about the art of being able to move the collective and your cyclic at the same time, and being able to deal with that. There we go, that wasn't too bad. And there's definitely a bit of a knack to it.
Yeah.
But honestly, the best way to learn it is just keep going up and down. Literally
Okay.
just do this for an hour long, and you'll get there. There we go, that one was pretty decent. And again, it's all about experience. You know, once you do this several times, then you know you're pretty good. Right, I'm gonna jump out.
Okay. Ah, no, no. No.
What the fuck happened?
Can't even move. What the hell? Oh, I can.
What the fuck happened?
You literally got out and it just tipped, and then when I jumped out, I couldn't move. I was fixed in place until it killed me, basically.
Oh, that's annoying. Right, there we go.
Right.
You're gonna have to set up your trim again and stuff, but
Should be alright. Do you want me to spill it up?
yeah. Spoiler up, and then whenever you're ready, we will focus on these these lifts, so we want to be focusing on nice vertical lifts upwards coming into a hover. So we'll do a few of those vertical lifts, and then after we've done a few of those, we'll move on to a hover. Or, to be fair, again, like I said at the start of the course, feel free to do what you want. If you want to go straight up vertically and then do a little bit of hover practice before we do vertical lifts, do it. I advise, do some vertical lifts, do some just hovering on the spot, and then when we're hovering in a spot, I'm going to give you some turns, so expect that as well.
Alright, cool. Okay.
But yeah, just let me know when you're moving into your hovering on the spot stuff, and then I'll be here.
Okay, power's going to come on.
Cool.
Whee.
Yeah, too much backwards.
Yeah.
Also remember when you're going backwards like this, you've got the rear rotors to be mindful of.
Yeah.
We're on flat ground, so we're pretty good. When you're in field, you can't be moving that far backwards because you've got a hill behind you because you will just kill your rotors. Again, it's a job for your load master, and it's something to be you aware of. And if you should shout to your load master saying, "Hey, right, we've got this hill behind us. Shout when I'm clear of this hill," then you know there's more communication. And we'll go over this a bit later, but a lot of, your communication within the boat is going to be, asking your load masters to clear your obstacles. You're aware of your situation, but you can't be aware without their eyes and being like, hey, right, I need you to be watching this as a lift, or watching this as a lift, I need to be on this, please, and the rest. Right. So,
So to recognise when the wheels are actually coming off.
Yeah. Potentially need a little bit more of a shallower angle.
Yeah.
But then also, as we come into our lift, we want to make sure we're bringing ourselves a little bit more level.
So isn't that as wheels come off to slightly push the cyclic forwards?
Yes, yeah,
right.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's what I'm not doing then. Right, let's try again.
So forward your cyclic now. There you go. So just need to forward that cyclic a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
And then bring us into that hover.
Drifted quite a bit. Bring us back.
It's fine. The reason why we pick it over here is because then we can drift all over the place. We haven't got a problem. The main problem you need to worry about is those big
light sections.
Yeah. Big floodlights, whatever they are,
Yeah.
over there. But otherwise, the point where we do it in here is you can drift all over the place, no worry. And you don't need to worry about where you are, as long as you're not in something you can collide with. I'm happy.
Let's try again.
Yeah. Much nicer. Just need to watch that forward, then creeping up. Yeah, nice one. Gunship 1-1 spooling.
It's quite hard to actually see the hood on the sky. Yeah, spin us round because we just drifted all the way down here.
That's fine. If you want to do some proper hovering and turns, we can.
Yeah?
Cool. Bring us in a nice hover. Altitude really does need to be above 5 or so meters. I would advise around 10 meters.
Yep.
Gunship
You're
1-1
never really
lifting,
gonna be hovering on a
taxiing
hover,
via
so you're
Alpha,
gonna be
Alpha
doing
1,
hover turns and
departing
hover pattern
22
lifting.
right.
But obviously, you don't want to be too low, but obviously don't want to be too high so you lose any references. So yeah, for now we'll just focus on hovering on a spot for about, 30 seconds at a time.
So I always got that wanting to slightly just keep drifting forwards.
Yeah, it's all about being able to adopt that angle.
I just tried the trim as you were saying, yeah, because you just definitely see the difference.
Yeah. No, there really is a difference, which is
It's weird how like, the slightest little bits of movement makes such a huge difference.
yes. I'll be AFK 1 minute.
Okay.
And I'm back.
Hello.
Right, let's focus on a nice hover and then we'll do some turns. So whenever you're ready, we'll do a 90-degree hover turn, your choice of direction.
Okay.
So what I normally do when I'm turning is I will start my turn towards the direction and also put in a little bit of cyclic in the opposite direction. So if I'm turning left, I put cyclic right slightly just to cover
Yeah.
that kind of drifting effect you get. That's what I typically find useful myself. So whenever you're ready, we'll do another 90-degree your choice of direction.
Let's get us a bit more high, unless we're dropping.
Yeah, and obviously also have the dust out, which
Yeah. Let's get out.
is a thing also.
Right there. Okay, any direction did you say?
Sorry?
You say any direction?
Any direction, yeah, your choice. So you might just want a little bit of backward cycling because
Yeah,
this thing does like to go forward.
it does.
And again, it's all about maintaining that hovering angle throughout all your hovering. So you're lifting, you're hovering, but also your hover turns. So you're maintaining this angle while also spinning, while also doing everything else. So yeah.
It turns a lot quicker than what I would expect it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Got right this time.
Fairly good. You're never going to get a 0-0 hover in this thing like you do with the Juno. I will say that. Right?
Okay.
It's a lot harder to get one of those, just the Chinook being a Chinook, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing to consider, so, you know, it's pretty good. I will say at this height you're losing all your reference points. I would bring us down to 10, 15, 20 like we were before.
Yeah.
Right, we'll do some 180s, because 180 is the most common one we obviously do with, you know, lifting from pads, going out of H-less is always going to be a 180 that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Now typically our 180s when we're lifting from these places aren't going to be, you know, aiming for no speed. Often we always have an induced drift somewhere where we want to be going and then following that through with forward speed to depart, but we're just focusing on some 180s being straight at one position. As I do like, I mix it up, right? I like lifting over H-less, got zero, like, you know, very, very low, doing a little 180 over the H-less and then parting.
Yeah.
Though it normally comes in the comments of I'm showing off, which I'm not trying to do, I just want to spin around in this nice little valley and then leave, but, you know. So whenever you're ready, we'll do some 180s.
Okay.
Your choice direction again.
We'll go right.
Start bringing that cyclic back again,
Yep.
just to awesome. And we're going a little bit too far.
Yeah. Let's get us over here. Come back.
Again, yeah, we're never getting 0-0. And when you also think about the percentage that you can be moving backwards and forwards compared to the length of the actual bird, it's very little
Yeah.
when you think about it like that. So watch your power adjustment settings again, and just watch where our height is. So really focus on where your collective is to get this nice level hover.
Yeah.
But also be watching how that impacts you when you're doing other turns and stuff. You know, we want to be maintaining our height when we're doing these turns. I don't want to be increasing turns like this. So bring us down back to like 15, 20, whatever you're comfortable with, and then also aim to try and stay at that altitude when we're doing our turns. Why is there stretchers on the ground?
Okay. Stop drifting forwards. Okay.
Whenever you're ready. 180. A little bit too far on that cyclic, yeah. But we ended up pretty well because of it actually, so just watch this drift backwards
Yeah.
because we're getting close to one of these towers behind us.
I'm just gonna aggressively move it forwards then.
Alright. What do you feel like you want to be doing? Do you want to do a little bit more lifting, vertical lifts? A little bit more hovering like this?
I think the vertical lifts, I kind of get the idea of. I just need to practice it. This,
Yeah.
I feel, is somewhat sloppy, but I think it's because it's literally just gone from the Juno and the muscle memory of flying that, and then suddenly I'm in this, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's just going to use those little twitches.
If you want me to
really.
hop back in the pilot seat and we can, I can just explain what I'm doing with my controls. I'll see if
Yeah.
I can find you any tips. This is the problem with me teaching Chinook, is because I'm so just like, it's muscle memory for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I do. So yeah, if you want to bring us down, I'll jump in the pilot seat quickly and I will do a turn or two and I'll have a little look for what I can explain and demonstrate.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to jump out, you can just switch to co-pilot.
Yeah.
Alright.
We did blow up that time, so that's good.
That's very true. Yeah, I know the problem, my throttle isn't exactly set up right. That's fine. Right, let's just bring this into our hover. And I'm just going to start. And I gain a little bit forward. Right, let's just bring it down. I need to think like I'm... Right. It's a problem. I can't just explain what I do. It's so muscle memory. Right, okay, so bring us into hover. Bring us around. And, yeah, I'm moving my cyclic backwards and forwards constantly as I'm turning,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sat here. I'm moving my cyclic backwards, forwards, 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 and now I'm here again. So I'm pretty much, I'm going from my middle point, which my cyclic will automatically centre to, I'm bringing it back to my centre point, back to my centre point, back to my centre point during my turn. So again, I'm bringing it around, and I'm basically just bringing it back, forward, as I'm turning, right? Just to cover off that one wasn't amazing. Let's try and do a nice, really slow, controlled one. So yeah, what I seem to be doing is I am basically bringing my cyclic and I'm going back probably about 60%. So from my centre point to my maximum back, I'm going about 60%, and I'm going backwards by 60%, back to my centre, 60%, back to my centre, 60% back to my centre during my turn. So I'm not holding off that backwards too long, where we're going to induce that backwards movement. And what I'm actually doing is I'm just monitoring that speed, but also not going to be, keeping that backwards for ages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That is seemingly what I do during my turns. Is just control it like that. And again, like you saw, you're
1-1, final
me,
0-4,
I'm not getting it perfect,
left.
But like some of mine, I'm getting a 0 at the end. What we're really focusing on is we can do a turn, we can end up 0 by the end of our turn. Right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump out again.
Okay. There we go.
Alright, I'm back in.
Okay. Just give him a drink.
That's fine.
Both in-game and out.
Yeah, I need one out of game actually.
Gunship 1-1 lifting from 04 or left threshold, departing southwest.
I don't think he's on a threshold there, but okay.
Are you back?
Cool. Yeah, feel free to do whatever turns you want, unless you want me to tell you what to do.
If you're happy for me to do it independently, I will do it.
Go for it. I'll just sit here watching. Yeah, much nicer controlled during the turn. Just have a little bit of oscillation going on here.
Kind of deliberately at the moment. I'm just getting a feel of it.
Fair.
Just I see how much difference it made just doing like the rapid input movements back and forth, like we were mentioning.
Yeah.
I'll try another 90 degree. Okay, that's way too quick.
Well, we ended quite slowly. But yeah.
So we ended quite slowly because I was like full on left pedal.
watch that altitude
Yeah.
creeping up.
'Cause I was watching the ball on the gauge rather than the. I didn't realise we were
Yeah,
actually
so
climbing.
my ball on the gauge during my turns are all towards the floor. The ball on my HUD, right,
Yeah.
is all pointing down on the ground towards the floor while I'm turning. If that helps or doesn't help, I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Because it's one thing when I first started like flying out with the Juno, I was trying to do it more with external references and stuff, and then once I actually just put the gauges on and had that access to that ball on the gauge, it just made life so much easier.
Yeah, fair.
I'm going to try 180. Okay, I feel like they're getting there a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, what do I do now?
If you want to get moving on,
Yeah.
that's probably your good timing actually. So we'll move on to some more takeoff stuff.
Okay.
If you want to start taxiing us towards 22 left, go for it. Yeah, from now start using your 224 comms on your taxiing and stuff.
Which taxiway is this? I can't see it on the...
We are
Charlie,
going to
isn't
be
it?
taxiing via Charlie, 04 left and Golf. We're going to be going towards Golf right now, so we'll be Vortex 11.
Vortex 11, taxi into runway 22 left via taxiway Charlie and Golf out.
Cool. Yeah, get a taxi in there and then I can do my talking. So, a hover takeoff. There is rolling takeoff on here. I've kind of made the decision to just not teach rolling takeoff anymore because it really doesn't work
Yeah.
with ArmA limitations. I used to and it's a bit finicky and I'm just like, I just can't be bothered. We never use a rolling takeoff, so there's no point of it. So we will not be teaching that. If you want to try when it's just, you start in a hover ground taxi and you start going faster and faster and faster until you take off.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to bring up your cyclic anyway, and then you just start turning and it starts spinning, and it's ArmA, so I can't bother. So we're just going to do a hover takeoff, and then we have two types of landings though, which is quite fun. So hover takeoff, so you're stating previous knowledge from taking off into a hover. This should be used to bring the Chinook into a hover. For this, we'll be in a hover taxi going into a hover. Once in a hover, you should apply forward cyclic pressure, lowering the pitch to the nose. Begin to increase collective to then counter this, finding the balance between collective and cyclic, and then you can continue to increase airspeed as required. When we do this, all I'd like you to do is, start at about 15-20 meters, and I want you to keep us 15-20 meters all the way down the runway. So don't start increasing altitude until we're all the way down the runway, and keep increasing the speed. Obviously we're not really taking off. The reason why I do this is because I want you to get used to getting large amounts of speed being at a low altitude, because in operation, once taking off an HLS, all you're doing is going low level, increasing your speed and going at low speed. So it's important that you can understand the relationship between cyclic and collective in that. So feel free to keep hovering all the way around onto 22 left. Once on 22 left, just slow us down into a hover quickly, and then get us going, and then again, whatever altitude we start at, we want to try and maintain, while also increasing our speed all the way up to maybe 250 if we can, but basically as fast as possible. And then once we reach the end of the runway, you can then start bringing us up, and we're going to go into our traffic pattern. Traffic pattern will be around over the water. If you want to quickly draw one, feel free to set us down on Golf. If you just want to not draw one, then feel free to keep going, your choice.
I can manage without if you're happy for me to.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
your choice.
Yeah, because I can see the purple one anyway.
Cool. Yeah. I'm not assessing a traffic pattern.
Yeah.
It's just, obviously we have to do one to come in for a landing. But yeah, so bring us in a nice hover of the threshold. And I'd advise you pick your altitude wisely.
That's funny. On the top left it's saying 0, on the HUD it's saying 3 meters.
Again, it's probably the above sea level.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, one thing to note is when it says 0 in the top, it doesn't mean we're on deck.
Yeah.
Which sometimes load masters get confused at, and they think, oh, we're on deck because it says 0. And it's like, no. Right, anyway. I would bring us up to about 10 meters.
Oh, you want me up? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we want to be starting off with a hover, please.
Okay, yeah. Oh, come on.
Alright, and whenever you're ready, start putting that forward cycle again, and using your collective to maintain or increase or lower your altitude. We're going to go full nose forward here, full nose forward. We're going to be increasing as fast as we can.
Oh yeah.
There we go, looking good. And using that collective to maintain that altitude. And we don't really want to be increasing altitude at all. We ideally want to be just keeping that going, keeping our speed increasing. and you can now start to increase your altitude to whatever you want your circuit height to be. And wrong net. Did I put onto? But it's 1-1 lifting circuit pattern left hand side 2-2 left. Alright, we'll bring us round. Our first landing is going to be a hover landing. So, slowing the Chinook down into a hover will require large amounts of pitch backwards, as well as the collector being reduced drastically. This will bring the Chinook into a glide slope, which can then be corrected by a collective input. It's important not to slow down too soon, correcting this by the cyclic. And then once you've started in your hovering speed, so around 10 meters or 10 kilometers per hour or so, you can then start decreasing the altitude to then pop us on deck. Obviously, you have two kind of different hover landings. So hover landings like we did in the Juno, where we come into a hover and then we bring us down on the ground, or we have a hover landings in a Chinook, where we are typically going to be going straight down into the ground without skipping that, coming into a hover step. That's what I'm going to be looking for from you.
Right, okay.
But yeah, typically it's going to be 100% collective when we're in on transit, and then when we come in, it's going to be 0% collective for, I often go 0% collective up for like 30 seconds at a time, and all I'm doing is maintaining my my altitude through my cyclic.
So for the purpose of going around this pattern, do you want me to be at full collective? Going around it at
ideally,
speed? Okay.
Ideally at speed, your choice though.
Okay.
We're focusing more of that on when we go and do our HNF landings later. And I'll be on your loadmaster to clear us out of these yellow pylons.
Okay.
And that should give you some perspective of how long the Chinook is as well.
Yeah. And you want me all the way down to the ground on this one?
All the way down to the ground, yeah. So maintain and clear now.
Okay, going down.
So I want you to be much slower there.
So
We want to be coming down where we've got about 5 kilometers per hour forward, something that we can fix in a hover rather than doing any rolling. The whole purpose of hover landings are coming down basically straight to the ground where we're not having any forward speed at all, really.
Right, so I misunderstood. So you want me stationary at the point of touching down then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, understood.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
What we'll do, just lift us up and head straight over the water. Don't worry about going down the runway, and we'll come around and do another one.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking for you to be able to slow down in a place where then we can reach the ground with no roll at all.
Okay. 611 turning base for finals, runway 2 left. No, way too early, way too early, way too early.
So, whenever you're in a situation where you've got too much speed and you want to keep off the ground, the best thing to do is to maintain your angle of attack and increase your collective to increase the distance you're going to be travelling before you reach the ground. So using your collective to kind of pop you up. I'll screen share later and show some clips of me approaching some H letters to get you some kind of understanding.
Yeah.
Right, we're clear here. So here, right, we want to just keep off the ground.
Yeah.
And from here, we should now be able to pop our rear wheels on the ground and keep our nose in the air just to keep that speed. There we go. Awesome. I'm going to count that as a hover landing. I'm happy about that. Right, we'll take off again. Go about halfway down the runway, then peel off if you want.
Which direction? Left?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're doing live fire to the right, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll keep our left-hand pattern.
Yeah.
Alright, so, just descending downwind, we have our rolling landing. So we have two types of rolling landings. So, a rolling landing serves the same purpose as a normal takeoff, but can be utilised in emergency landings to bring the Chinook to a stop using the rotors or wheel brakes rather than managing speed in a hover landing.
Gunship 11 long final 04 left.
So there's two methods of performing a rolling landing. So one is landing with a high pitch, using the rotor to slow the Chinook down before the rear wheels touch the deck, as the pilot holds the Chinook in a wheelie, utilising the rotors to bring the Chinook to a controllable speed. Next is landing with medium pitch, allowing all wheels to touch the surface, then utilising the wheel brakes to slow the Chinook down. So, the main thing to note with your, the last one, with
Closest
all
one more
wheels touching
finals,
the
2
surface,
left.
is you want to be keeping your wheel brakes off. For every other landing we do, it's always wheel brakes on. So for both the rolling landings you want your wheel brakes off. But for every other landing we do, every other operations, wheel brakes are always on. So we'll try landing in a wheelie, which is landing with very high angle, keeping our speed up. We don't want to be too slow, or it's very hard to control a wheelie.
So what sort of speed am I looking at?
You're going to be looking for about 60, 70 kilometers per hour when we're going to be touching our rear wheels on deck.
Okay.
Yes, pop that speed up about 20 kilometers per hour more, if possible.
Right.
There we go.
Yep, go for that.
And now start bringing us into that higher pitch and popping our rear wheels on, and you're putting a lot of cycling in to keep the nose up and up. There we go. To keep that nose up. Awesome. And we've got that speed decreasing. And then at some point we can pop our wheels down, pop our wheel brakes on,
Gunship
and
11
we're fully
exiting
slow.
by Alpha
Yep.
King.
This thing does tend to like to damage when it's any more than like 80, 90 I think, so I advise not doing it that fast. But yeah, it's a method of landing. Right, we'll go up again, feel free to go straight over the water, and we'll do all 4 wheels on deck and then using our wheel brakes to control.
Just hope the wheel brakes are working.
So that'll be just plonking it down like an aircraft, and then just controlling our speed from there. This one, you again want to be coming in, probably aim for about 70 kilometers per hour when you come in here.
Gunship 1-1's falling down.
So you say this is a hover landing, Roll 4.
We're doing a rolling landing
Right.
where all four wheels are going to be plonked on a deck. So we're coming in about 80.
Yes.
When we're about, well, about 70. When we're about 70, all wheels are going to be plonked on a deck, and we're going to just roll down the runway.
Okay, so no
Like
flare
a
or
plane.
anything. It's at the same time.
No flare. Yeah, just
Yeah.
plonking all four wheels on the same time, and then using a rolling brake, wheel brake to slow us down.
Understood.
Only problem with this one is the Chinook does like to spin sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole purpose of this rolling landing, right? We have the rolling landing where we flare and wheelie down the runway, and we have the rolling landing where we're all four wheels on deck and then slowing us down with our wheel brakes.
Okay. And what speed was it again? 80, did you say?
I would go for a safe bet at 70. Probably could push to 80, and it might have a little bit more control. See, this thing, the faster you have it, the more control you have, so to speak.
Yeah.
Push it about 70.
Okay.
If we blow up, it's not your fault, but we shouldn't. But yeah, these rolling landings, they can come in used for emergency landings, like I said, or just another landing ability, but often they're very rarely used. It's just kind of the awareness of them, but you don't need to be absolutely perfect at them, and obviously they're also quite annoying with ArmA physics. So.
Yeah. Vortex 1-1 finals, 2-2 left. Is it really not wanting to spin?
Yeah, it does do it. But we won't worry about that too much. You have the awareness of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, cool. Right, if you want to just taxi us over back to where we did the hovering earlier.
Okay.
We now jump into our HLS landing procedures part of the course. Which, to be fair, pop us anywhere. Doesn't have to
Okay,
be
I was going to go for the
accurate.
4.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're just using this as our base now, so to speak.
7 down.
Alright, feel free to spoil it down. So, HLS planning procedures. So, these are the most important things for routine operations, obviously. And I'm going to be going through the important stuff, and then we'll just do some screen share. I'll show you some approaches and stuff, and then we'll go from there. So, when approaching HLS, it's important that the co-pilot speed tracking speed, distance, bearing, directions to HLS. Following these callouts will ensure that the airframe can stop and land at HLS successfully. For new Chinook pilots, the advice is to begin to slow down about 1.5 kilometers from the HLS. Continue to slow the speed across the next kilometer, ensuring that the Chinook does not lose too much momentum. While doing this, it's important to continue to change your heading to correctly meet the HLS. What you can do is use shift click. So you shift click on the HLS. So I've got HLS 111126, kind of southwest part of the map. You can see that on the C tab.
Yep, seen.
If you shift and press click on that,
Yep, done.
then that will do a black dot, and
Yeah.
then that will show up on your HUD. So when you're
Yes.
flying it, it will show your distance and it will show where it is.
Yeah.
So that's a very useful feature. HLS tally. So it's important for the pilot to have visual reference on the HLS, understanding where the HLS is, and most importantly where to land. The co-pilot will often scout a HLS from longer range using the camera to find where best to land, but obviously that can be inaccurate at long distances. Landing communications. So when coming into land, speed and altitude should be significantly lower than it was when on first approach. The whole airframe should be focused on on the landing procedure. So to begin, a 30-second call should be made from the pilot or co-pilot if missed, followed by a final obstacle that Loadmaster should clear before the wheels are on deck. The Loadmaster will now be starting out the height callouts as well as clearing obstacles. After the last obstacle has been cleared, a hovering attitude should be adopted. We're also losing altitude to then bring the Chinook's rear wheels on deck, followed by the front wheels shortly after, softly bring the circuit forward, and obviously collective 0. Once the Chinook is stable on the ground, it's important that a safe on deck call is made to alert the Loadmaster to begin their roll. Then obviously Loadmaster will call all on clear air to then hand over responsibility back to yourself. So, the main thing you're going to be focusing on is obviously the 30-second call. Now that can be said earlier if you want it, or later. Oh no later, but earlier if you want it. I normally advise about 1k, 1.3k. Some people do it 1.5k, but that's 30-second call. Also realise that 30-second call can be used to shut up the people on the back. If they're making a bunch of racket and you just want to be quiet and you're about 2 kilometres away, you can say, right, let's just call 30 seconds now. So 30 seconds, and it basically means pack should be told to shut up. It will bring a Loadmaster and co-pilot into the the headspace of landing.
Yeah.
And it basically gets everyone's attention. So if you never need that, call your 30 seconds. Next is your obstacles. So obstacles are obviously things you want to be cleared, but you also need to remember that's also a great opportunity for reference points. So for example, roads you find an obstacle. It's not an obstacle, but it's a very good reference point to where you are, where your rear is, right? So if you say, right, last obstacle is going to be the road, Loadmaster should pick that up and have, right, I need to be clearing the road. And then when he calls, right, we're clear of road, you know, okay, my rear is just passed over that road.
Yeah.
I know where I am. So remember, yes, it's extremely useful and extremely important for obstacles. It's also a great tool to be having certain reference points for certain things. If you want to land specifically in a certain area past an object, it's awesome. Next is your safe on deck call. This is probably the most extremely important call out. And the main issue that people get with this is that they say it too quickly when the bird's still moving, and then we have the co-pilot jumping, Loadmaster jumping out when the bird's still moving, or the rest.
Yeah.
So you want to be sitting on deck, make sure you're 0, wait another few seconds to make sure the bird doesn't start rolling, so whether you're on a hill or not, then decide, right, we're safe, we're not moving, I can call safe on deck. You don't want to be saying anything out other than safe on deck. Some people say safe on, but safe on deck is cool. You should at no point be saying anything about packs getting off or debus, because if packs hear you, then they follow that command, not the load masters. So it's always a safe on deck. Always a safe on deck call out.
Okay.
Obviously, once you do that, that kind of hands over responsibility to the load master. They're going to do their job, whatever. And then once they're done, they come on and say all on clear air, and that's when you can then start thinking, right, I'm going to get lifting again. I also do a call out saying, hey, I'm lifting. So I also just say lifting when I'm just bringing the bird off the deck. I don't know why I do it. It's somewhat useful just for everyone to know, your co-pilot load master to know, right, I'm definitely, lifting out of the sky.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Are you in position to watch a screen share quickly?
Yes.
Cool, I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna call you on Discord.
Okay.
And
Right, I've muted it in the call.
cool, you should see my medal screen.
Yeah.
Cool. Put a little volume in. So, here I am. I've been full 100% for the first whatever. Now lowering my collective during my turn. This is something I do whenever I'm turning. Lower my collective, because else then I end up either too high or too far in my turn. Allows control of turns with decreasing collective there. About 1.5, allow myself to drift into valley. And your main thing you'll want to be watching is my green ball lifting and heading towards my HLS. And now I've suddenly adopted that landing attitude. So suddenly I've gone from my transit forward, I've suddenly gone full collective 0, full cyclic backwards, adopting the landing pitch, because I know I'm coming into land. Now I'm nicely just drifting it, and I'm using my small amount of collective just to bring that ball up, right? To then extend my distance before I'm going to be reaching the ground. Again, I'm full 0, increasing that ball slightly, back down again, back down, and increasing again. And in a minute I'm going to be doing a much bigger increase just to manage that altitude and keep it constant. And there it is now. And I'm watching that. Oh, this is where I have VRS, this is why I've clipped this.
Yeah.
And see, I'm full and I'm VRSing it down, and then I had a terrible landing. The main thing you can see, right, is, where is it? It's about here, right? I'm going from my transit straight into my landing attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using that collective simply just to bring that bob up where I need to gain height or extend my route. Let's have a little look. Is this a landing? Oh no, this is a shit landing. I used to have some nice landing clips, but I don't know if I have any more. No, this can somewhat demonstrate the collective, what I'm meaning, right? Watching my bob, I'm using that simply to, I'm basically using my collective to move myself forward, if you get to see what I mean.
Yeah.
Right? I'm moving that collective, I want to be moving forward, so I'm just bringing that up to kind of boost me up, keep myself going forward. And all I'm really focusing right now on controlling is just that collective. I'm not really worrying about my cyclic, and just using that as my full control. To say I want to move forward a little bit, that collective's going slightly more up. And that's the main thing I want to try and drill in through this is, when you adopt that landing attitude, your main thing that can be controlling is your cyclic.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have some much better clips, but I think I lost them all. Oh no. I have... Ah, here we go. This I created this for someone when I was coming in. Ah, no, that's horrible. And maybe it wasn't those. Ah, another example. This is definitely something I created for someone. So you can watch my speed here, and what I'm doing with that, to bring that down and also just extend my distance. There we go. So you can see that collective input,
Mm-hmm.
and then just managing that speed. And again, I'm coming on deck about 5, but with you know, I read it was on about 4 there, and then with my attitude, I've then just lost on my speed. I think that's most of the stuff I can show, but I hope that's kind of... What's this one? Look at this visibility, my god. I don't know why I'm so high here, it seems. I don't know. It's definitely examples I've given to people. So yeah, I'm full zero collective. You know, I'm just using that my cyclic just to keep myself up in the air, and then here I start bringing in the collective to keep myself going. And I'm kind of placing my white ball just right on the HLS and just keeping that going. And then here I am, I'm bringing that collective in again just to keep myself going. And then I'm coming down on the HLS. And if we just refocus on this again, watch my speed, I'm 10. I'm now slowing myself down, 8. Rear wheels were on about 7, and then I'm keeping my nose up just slightly a bit more, and then bring myself down. I think that's most of the stuff, unless I had a really nice HLS landing one time. I don't know where probably don't have it. Good example of transit flight. This is obviously, I'm sharing this to demonstrate to someone. Yeah, there we go. Just watching my collective as I'm transiting, right? I'm trying to go as fast as possible, right? This is my transit flight, but I'm also trying to maintain my low as possible.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got much else. But yeah, hopefully that... What's this flying? I don't know. Anyway, I hope that's given some feedback.
Yeah.
Of just showing the importance of that collective there is the main thing. Right, so, if we're all ready, I'm gonna use group channel for the rest of our drawings.
Yeah, switched.
Cool, I've got a HLS up. I'm gonna just draw a line basically straight to where we are on the pad.
Mm-hmm.
There we go, blue line to the HLS. And we're just going to do a nice HLS landing there. I want you to try and get up to speed as much as possible. I want to try and, you know, simulate we're coming in from a long transit, we're nice and fast, and then coming into this HLS.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
So whenever you're ready, feel free to spool up, and feel free to
Vortex
get
one more spool.
going. For all purposes of this, I'm your load master, so... Well, unless Aaron wants to jump on. Because Aaron is here, 1 minute. Aaron? He might be tapped. No, he's in TeamSpeak. He has got a C-tab. Aaron?
I know exactly what you want, Warren.
Cool, can you be loady, please?
Of course, I'm already sitting on the back.
Awesome.
He was spying in Zeus, wasn't he?
Yes, I have been. a change of kit.
Cool. Let Harrison know that you're all ready, Aaron.
Yes, all on, ready to go.
Okay, cool. 4611 lifting, departing runway 22 left, 5 Bravo.
Yeah, feel free to just cut across runways, honestly.
Power coming up.
You don't have to worry about Apache anymore.
Yeah.
And distance to crow flies is going to be 6.2k.
Roger that.
Say, Warren, any comments on my Apache 24?
Wasn't really focusing.
Fair enough.
H is going to be open, and we're going to have a fence to one side and some walls surrounding it. Otherwise there's no large obstacles.
Roger.
Head on direct bearing of 228.
Yeah, just realised.
This is where our straight and level flight...
Do you want me to go
curriculum
straight
junior-
there now? Yeah, okay. So I was just realised I'd gone completely off the flight path.
Yeah, so just watch your flight path. Don't get too hooked into your on your HLS.
Yeah.
You can sometimes, but also you don't want to get hooked on your marker, because then if you get hooked on your marker, you then have problems where you're not on your flight path, right? Always follow the flight path, unless you're on your final leg of your flight path where you kind of direct.
Yeah, sure.
It's my main thing. Right, we're 2.5, right? And 1.5,
Wait,
30 seconds,
Ample 30, vortex 1, 30 seconds.
green smoke is popped forward, 500 meters, last obstacle is going to be a stone wall,
Yep, sweet.
and we're going to put a fence forward of the HLS. So coming over some bushes, and then we have the stone wall as final, Aaron.
Alright, maintain.
Yeah, got too much speed going round.
Yeah, far too much speed for the altitude. You always want to be matching your speed and altitude like you match the clutch of a car to your speed, right?
Yeah.
Be right.
Right, try again, 30 seconds.
Sorry, I'm back.
Alright,
Right.
same again.
Yeah, same again. Last was going to be the stone wall, except we're coming over a tree this time.
Yeah,
so
same true.
last obstacle is going to be a tree followed by a stone wall.
Alright.
Oh, VRS, yep. Right.
I think I had eyes on the... Oh, there's the stone wall. What was going bad for a
Relax on
second?
yourself,
Stuff
Aaron,
like that.
please.
Yeah, I was watching for the wall.
Yeah,
I couldn't
just
see it.
that really insane pitch up then led us into VRS,
Yeah.
which what happened when you're at height and you're really slow altitude, slow speed, sorry. But yeah, like I was saying, you want to be matching your height to your speed. You want to be doing those insane pitches up, like much higher and much sooner rather than later. Cool, right.
Right, all on.
Okay. That's one
Cool.
left then.
Right, just right 1147. And I'm gonna draw your flight path as well.
147. Yep, same.
There you go. You got your flight path.
Yep. Okay. Lifting.
All right.
Apologies on the high neck calls there, Warren. The VRS caught me off guard.
Yeah, really try and follow those flight paths as close as possible.
Yeah.
Are you really showing your group, Warren? Because I can't see all your lines.
True. Right, we are 2.6k.
Roger.
And 2 kilometers.
Okay.
1.5k 30 seconds.
Ample 30, vortex 11,
Smoke
30
stopped.
seconds.
1.2 and smoke on the horizon distance. 800 meters.
Copy, smoke seeing.
So start bringing your cycling back even more here.
Yeah, it needs to be a lot further.
Full
back, doesn't
collective
it?
zero,
Yeah.
really bring that speed back down. Cool, and now lower it again. Lower it again, lower it again, lower
What,
it again.
collective?
No, you're cyclic.
Oh, I
Watch what we're doing there, right?
misunderstood what you were doing there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
0.
good.
You know, lower our pitch, right? We had a really high pitch, I want you to lower that pitch down. Because else we do that, well then we lose all our speed.
Yeah.
2, 1,
Again, watch our speed and altitude. We're going to be lowering that speed.
and
So
going 0.
Come on deck, keep our cyclic back as long as possible to then lose that speed we have, right? Because we can't do much in this situation, right? We've
Yeah.
lowered too fast, that's fine. Now we're 20 in about 2 meters, so our best thing we can do is do what we've done in our rolling landing with wheel brakes on, right? Wheel brakes on, full cyclic back as we come in when our wheels touch the deck, and just hold that for as long as possible, and then
Right.
bring us down on the ground, and you'll lose a lot more speed rather than just letting it roll.
Okay.
I just need to eat and drink, and I'm going to give us fuel as well. And now
yes,
we'll go
I'm glad
into
you
another
said that, Warren.
HLS.
I need to drink.
There we go, and... One minute.
Mhm.
Right, cool, that'll work as a HLS. Where am I?
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, same.
Cool. And I'm just going to draw us a direct route in.
Okay. Right. Happy for me to lift?
Depends what
Yeah,
Aaron's
all
saying.
on, good to go.
Okay. Right, lifting.
I've got to remember, Warren, we're doing this like an actual op bit.
Yep. Right, and... Distance is 3.9k. Direct bearing of 084 is what you're looking at.
Yep, same.
to try and gain as much speed as possible.
Yep.
And we're 2.2 and 2 kilometers. So watch this high pitch here, because we're going to be losing too much speed when we get to the end. We've got 1.5.
So it's
Smoke's going out.
30 seconds.
it's more 1.5 you want me to transit and start losing speed?
I would, yes, or you're going to lose it too quickly. At least from my experience in new Chinook pilots. And 800 meters.
Green smoke soon.
So what's your altitude here? And try and keep it constant about here, right? And just keep us going. You could even just put your pitch down a little bit and just keep us going a little bit more.
Yeah.
And just keep this altitude maintained. We're still lowering altitude, right?
Yep,
15. Now we're 25 a second ago.
It's showing 0 on my HUD for some reason.
Still around 15.
And last one
10.
is going to be a stone wall.
5. Stone wall past 0.
Yes, it works. I'm doing it. Safe on deck.
Cool. So yeah, then when we get into the final parts of the approach in the HLS, you really want to be focused on that pitch going up.
Yeah.
Right? We really don't want to be below about like 5 meters with a lot of speed. And the second you go below 5 meters, you can't do anything about it. The second, when we're above that 5-10 meter range, you can do a lot with your speed. But obviously we get massively constrained. We get massive constraints when we get too low. Right, we'll go somewhere else. Right, new HLS put up.
Yep, same.
I'm going to draw your flight plan in a way that gets rid of the power lines for you quickly. So it's going to be a bit of a curvy one.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
We're going to get rid of the power lines sooner, and then we're going to go over. Right.
Right, all off and clear.
Cool, lifting. Okay, seen the power lines.
Cool. We have 3 kilometers. So try and pick up some speed here, just to give us some fair training. 2.6. 2.5. 2 kilometers. And 1.6 start us slowing down.
Text 11, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Smoke's out, 1 kilometre. Smoke's forward of us. Watch our altitude. You've got it pretty under control now. So watch the altitude now. We're at such a high pitch that we're going to start losing our altitude.
Yeah.
And therefore we end up in these situations we've got too much speed and too low altitude.
Alright.
Right, last one is going to be a wall with some rocks.
10, 9, 8,
Again,
7,
altitude, selective up. Keep that altitude up while we have the
5.
speed.
Clear of the wall and the bushes. 1, 0.
Safe on deck.
So yeah, you really want to be keeping that altitude up as much as you can. So then we can control that speed. So for example, when we were just there, about 15 meters, if you kept that 15 meters even to where we are, and it had 0 and then start bringing us down, that'd be a lot more controlled rather than having a little bit more speed when we're on the ground and starting rolling.
Right,
If you
okay.
get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do.
Right.
I was thinking it was a little bit too high, but that's fine. Understand.
So we were high at the start when we were
Yeah.
about 47 metres, right? Then we got coming down to about 30, you know, that's alright. And then when we're coming over the last obstacles, we're about 5 metres, but we've got 30 kilometres per hour, right?
Yeah.
Which then we can't do anything about 30 kilometres per hour other than dealing with it on deck, which we don't want to be doing. We want to be coming in and landing, right, when we're touching the rear wheels on deck, around 10 kilometres per hour.
Okay.
So you need to decrease your speed by 3, by 3
Yeah.
times. And the way to do that is, like you saw when I screen shared, right? I'm keeping this high pitch, and I'm keeping my altitude up by using that collective. And right now we have that kind of pitch, but our altitude is still coming down. So you need to make sure, when we're on that approach in, right, we've got that pitch, awesome, but we need to ensure that collective is there to keep us going up and keep our altitude up, because all we're doing is losing this altitude, and while we are losing the speed, we're not losing the speed enough to then warrant having that lower altitude.
Yeah.
So when we're at 30 kilometers per hour, for example, we want to keep our altitude above 10, 15, and keep it up, and then when we're at a certain stage when we have a little amount of speed, then we can think about, right, let's think about getting this altitude down properly. So like I showed in the videos, right, keeping the
Yeah.
pitch up and using that collective to keep our altitude up, keep our kind of our distance, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we'll go to another one. Let's see. Actually, we'll go back to 1147.
1147, yes. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to take you in a little bit of a weird way. So go back on the line we went, and then turn off there.
Okay.
Just get us out of the power lines there. Yeah, that'll work.
Alright, cool.
Cool. Aaron, you all done with hitting the
Yes,
packs?
all on, good to go.
Okay, power coming on. Wait, that's way too much. Right, I can see the power lines to the right.
Cool. So, what's your flight path?
Yeah.
Because right now we're going into a hill that we didn't want to go into. Right, the whole point of the flight path is going there to avoid this hill here. And then go down this kind of like valley, well, I say valley, you know, this little clearing between these two hills. And that's the importance of our flight paths, right? They keep us out of this terrain. So if you overcut them, you don't realise what you're going into, then you have problems.
Yeah.
Right, 3.1k. And 2.5k. And 2 kilometres. And 1.6. Nearing 1.5. Smoke's going out. Starter slowing down. Just watch this altitude as we keep that pitch up.
Yeah. Don't know whether it's bugged, but yeah, on the HUD it's showing 0, so I'm having to look up to the top left. For height.
Yeah, we're going to need to have your dials on. One
Yeah,
of the two.
oh yeah, they are on, yeah, so yeah, I can see that as well, yeah.
So, see now, we're too slow,
Yeah,
right? And we've also got a lot of altitude. You know, we went up from about 20 to 50, which, you know, in an operational setting could be, you know, exposing ourselves. Right, now we've, and coming over a stone wall, last obstacle is going to be a repair truck.
Yeah.
Again, watch the altitude, increase the
I'm going
altitude,
round,
increase the
That's
altitude.
crap, that was awful.
Right? We want to be going down to about 10, we're about 20, 15 kilometers per hour. So we're going to be matching our speed to altitude once again. Right, bring us out all the way, 3.4 kilometers, direct bearing of 068, and we'll just go around there and we'll do a full approach again.
Yeah. Do you want me
And
to
yeah,
turn
feel-
back in
yeah.
around here? Yeah?
Turn us 180 here. And then I'll give you a distance once we're on track. And track 244 bearing, 3 kilometres.
Copy.
Two kilometres. So watch that altitude increasing. Remember, when we start to pitch up, we want that altitude to stay as constant as possible.
Yeah.
So full collective down. We're 1.3, sorry. Green smoke out. Just keep that pitch up. Keep that pitch up, and then watch the altitude and use your collective to manage the altitude. So collective up now. Just keep that altitude going up, and then keep that pitch going up. Keep that pitch. Keep that pitch. Keep that pitch. We're still 70. We're increasing our speed. Keep that pitch. Keep that pitch, and then. Right, we've
Yeah,
overshot.
go around.
Don't worry about overshotting. Let's just try and get down on deck. Right.
Okay.
Keep that pitch as high as possible. There we go. And use that collective to maintain. Keep your altitude up as much as possible. There we go. Right. We've got a road as a final obstacle, so you need to keep going forward. So cycling forward slightly. Good altitude, good speed. Lovely matching. Right. Now bring that cycling backwards again. Bring that cycling backwards again and start to bring your collective down. We'll be landing somewhere around here. So cycle it backwards more and more and more.
10, 9, 8, 7,
We've just got this rock
6,
wall.
5, 4,
Yeah.
3,
Can we
2,
clear it?
1.
No, we're going to keep going, but again, we're all right on speed and altitude. Right, now landing here. So
Yep,
cycling all the way
clear it.
backwards as much as possible.
And 0.
And there we go. Awesome. So that's what you're going to be looking to do, right? But moving into our H left, right?
Yeah.
You have that, cycle it backwards as much as possible. When we were just approaching the proper H lefts, you started moving your cycling forward. Therefore, what we ended up with is we're going to getting speed again. Your cycling really need to be in that situation as far back as possible. And then just again, maintaining that, we're getting engine damage because we're too close to a tree.
So we roll forwards.
Yeah. And then hopefully I can fix us.
No, it's not letting me. So we get more damage. Oh, there we go. No, come on. Oh, there we go.
It's because we got it in the hill slightly. We should be fine there. But yeah, we just needed more cyclic backwards, and then again using that collective to keep our altitude up. Because as we increase our cyclic backwards, we're then going to be losing our altitude, and that's not what we want to be doing when we've got so much speed. But after we went over that road and we're coming just into this little area, it was a good amount of just, it was good speed and altitude matching, right? You know, we can come down on deck with about 13 kilometers per hour, which we did have when we were at about 2 meters. We can do that because the bird will just stop, but we can't do that with any more. Right. What we'll do is we'll go back to 1151, other side of the airfield. About 4.54, 1151.
Oh yeah, see, I was looking the wrong
I was going to
side.
say straight west of us,
Yeah.
pretty much.
We'll go back there if you want to get us going.
Okay,
Right. Forwards lift, otherwise you're going to catch the tree.
okay. Power coming up.
Right, clear at tree.
Okay, it's coming right.
And direct bearing of 082. And we are 3.1k. Two 2.5. 2 kilometers, bearing 085, good track. And 1.7, 1.6, and 1.5. Smokes out 1 kilometer. And smoke is seen, direct bearing of 097.
Copy, same.
Right, start to bring that cyclic slightly forward,
Yeah, 'cause you lost lots of speed on there.
because we lost lots of speed.
Yeah.
And watch that altitude. You want to maintain as much as possible here. Watch that speed increase, so cycling all the way backwards again, or backwards to some degree.
Yeah.
Looking good. Right, we're coming over a road and a pole.
Yeah,
The
see the
pole's going to be a
pole.
fine obstacle. Right, start to bring that cycling backwards now. Cycling backwards,
Past the pole.
backwards, more backwards,
Past
more
the wall.
backwards.
7,
Collective up,
6,
collective
5,
up.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
There we go. So all we needed there was our collective to start going up as we bring that cycling back, and we would have been on for a really good landing.
Yeah,
What
I
we
lost
did
all
have,
visual
though-
markers on that one.
Sorry?
I lost all visual references on that one, compared to where we needed to be.
In terms of what, sorry?
I didn't realise how I lost what proximity we were to the HLS in relation to where we were.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, like, we had a bumpy landing, but we didn't roll that much at all. So, in my eyes, that was pretty alright. With a little bit more collective control, that would have been pretty good there. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the test we just came from, 1147. And we'll call this the final one for tonight, because I want to get sling loading over and done with.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So 1147, 4.12 kilometers. Aaron, we good?
Yep, all good.
Cool.
Right, lifting.
And yeah, direct bearing of 65. 3.8k. And 2.5.
Copy 2.5.
2 kilometers. 1.7. 1.5. 30 seconds. Smoke going out. Smoke pops. So keep that pitch. So cycle it backwards, and keep that collective down as much as possible.
Yep.
Cool. More cycle it backwards. And just let that altitude come down. When it's about 20, we want to start picking it up and maintaining it. So keep that cycle it backwards. Keep that cycle it backwards. No. Right. Start using that collective now. Start bringing in that collective. We'll keep that altitude up.
6,
Altitude about 10 meters aiming for.
Copy.
There we go. All right. Now watch that speed. Now start bringing us down, landing as you normally would.
9, 8, 7, 6,
A
5,
bit of
4,
VRS
2,
there,
1, 0.
which is just a little bit unfortunate. I think it was we lost a lot of speed in a small amount of time, and then also trying to deal with our altitude. But significantly better than all other goes.
Yep.
We had that bring that speed back, had that altitude control. I think the only thing was we then started dropping the altitude a little bit too fast, and that's why altitude come back up to 10 meters. But if you'd
Yeah.
caught that, then it would have been a lot better. But yeah, right, we'll go back. We'll do one final time, going back to the previous HLS.
1151.
Yeah. Right.
So
Full
forward
off
3K.
and clear.
Okay. Lifting. Oh, Christ. I will get the hang of that.
Alright, we are 2.5.
2.5.
Two kilometres. 1.7 and 1.5, 30 seconds. Smoke going out. And 1 kilometre. And then watch that speed. That speed can kept going. Let's bring our altitude down to about 40 metres. And then maintain that speed. So use your cyclic to maintain that speed. So aim for 70, right? Start bringing that cyclic backwards. And then start bringing us down to about 30 kilometers per hour now. Aim for 30 kilometers per hour. And cyclic can go forward. Altitude, watch that decreasing. We want to keep it above that pole. Altitude's alright now. And cyclic go backward again. And keep our altitude up. So watch altitude, keep your collective, keep that up. Awesome. And cyclic forward. Altitude, collective up, collective up, collective up, collective up. About 80% collective, 90% collective. Awesome. Right, keep this going. And now control it as you're landing normally. Control normal landing from a hover now.
2, 1, 0, on.
Right, safe on deck.
Cool. And lovely landing too. Awesome. See, we're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
It's all about just understanding that relationship between your cyclic and your collective.
Yeah.
Once you really understand that and what you're doing, then really good, right? Because we had initial slowdown, initial maintain of altitude, then we came in over the road, and we started slowing down again, and then all we need to do is catch that collective. Once a Chinook gets in a really slow speed, it will want more collective to keep it up in the sky. And if you saw from some of my clips, when I'm coming into my final part of the HLS, my collective is up 80-90% to keep myself up at a slower speed.
Yeah.
So it's something to make aware of. Right, we'll head back to the apron that we were hovering on earlier.
Okay.
We will spool down. Aaron will go and grab us a crate and sling us a crate up to our centre hook, and I'll go and explain stone loading stuff.
Okay.
Right, hold on, good to go.
Okay. Lifting.
And there's a direct line for you.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to make it slightly less direct. Aaron, I've asked in the Helimed what those guys are up to, that Heli Swiss. There's a few guys, those guys are in the know, so we'll have a little look.
Warren.
Yeah?
S76 coming soon.
S76.
Korsky.
Coming soon over here?
Right, no, to flight sim.
Oh, flight sim, really?
Do you want me to go straight to the apron or non-approach?
Yeah, straight to the apron, just go direct. Follow the blue line direct, yeah.
What's this going to do?
That's pretty nice because I'm pretty sure Bristow uses them.
There you go. There is link for in a bit.
Yeah, spawn us down here and we'll go through some fairy stuff.
Safe for duck.
And Aaron just grab us a crate and sling it up the centre hook. Alright.
I heard my name just as I got out.
Yeah, grab a just pallet centre hook, please.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just going for basic slow loading. It'll be just pallet centre hook, and mainly just focusing on pallet stuff. Obviously, most of your slow loading throws come from in-server on operation, and
Yeah.
learning through that. Though I do recommend you have a little practice out of the server, and the same thing for the HLS stuff. The main thing I say when people are leaving in a Chinook course is hop on server, set up HLS, draw a line, pop your marker on there, and just keep going in it over and over again, and just say to yourself, how late can I brake, how late can I stop, you know, however, and just keep doing it over and over and over again, and eventually you'll really learn. That's the biggest advice. With sling loading, my advice is to just literally go backwards and forwards, just slinging random objects to your bird and just dropping them at HLS and just knowing how they feel. I think that's what I did when I did my Chinook course. I just came on server, popped up a like Husky to myself, went over to HLS, fiddled about, you know, dropping it for race menu. It's not very nice hovering and doing that, but you get the feeling of the cargo, which is the main thing. But yeah, as you see in the screenshot and DMs, we have our single hook operations SHOs. So that's when one out of the three, typically the centre hook, is used for carrying a load. MHOs, model hook operations, where two or three hooks are used simultaneously, each carrying an independent load. And then we have tandem hook operations, is where a single load is suspended by means of the forward and aft hooks. And then we have four with redundant rigging, and then foals without redundant rigging. So either one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, for now we're just going to focus on single hook operations, which is quite nice and simple. So, lifting with unsung loads. So when lifting with unsung loads, it's important to understand which side of the Chinook load is placed. After this is known, use previous knowledge from lesson 3, hovering, to lift with near to no forward or rear movement. Once the Chinook is settled in a hover at appropriate altitude, use a cyclic to shift the airframe over the load, to then increase altitude to lift the load from the surface. Flight with unsung loads. So during flight, the Chinook should be flown with a higher caution as well as a higher altitude to clear obstacles. When approaching HLS, moral collective will need to be used due to the added weight of the sling load, as well as the requirement to hold at a higher altitude for the load to clear obstacles. Dropping unsung loads. When dropping unsung loads, it's important the Chinook has near to no momentum, dropping vertically to the ground. The Chinook should gently be lowered towards the surface, awaiting the call out from the loadmaster of the load touching the surface. At this point, Chinook should quickly stop descending and allow time for the rope to be released. Then you can depart. So your main focus when coming into a HLS is you want to be coming over the HLS and going into a hover with 5 meters below the cargo, and then plus the cargo length. So 5 meters plus, say, 15 meters, so 20 meters hover over the HLS.
Mhm.
And then your load master will say, right, start to bring it down, cargo's on deck. You instantly stop descending, keep your attitude constant, so increase your collective. And then once you say load's gone, clear away, you can then start going off in your merrily way. Obviously, when you do that, you have the risk of kind of spring back, so to speak. Not spring back on the load, but you kind of springing back up if you just increase your collective just drastically. So you want to make sure that you're going to be increasing that collective quickly, but to a point where then you're going to be maintaining your altitude, which again, it is about 75-80% in a normal hover. But obviously that can depend on the load you have, whether it's dragging you down to the ground or not. Obviously, once the loadmaster jumps on board, they give a little briefing saying, hey, crate to your left and right hand side, this many meters, I'm all ready to go. The biggest thing I say for pilots is you always want to be lifting with your loadmaster ready on the slinger hatch. You don't want to be lifting and they're on your loady seat and they have no clue what's happening, because then you don't get information and it's pretty shit. So, and a lot of loadmasters do this accidentally, I always ask, are you ready? And I always say, right, are you ready? And that means, are you ready on the slinger attach? Also, use your HUD at the bottom of the screen to see where they are. And you can see right now, Aaron's facing towards us, near us, so I can see, hey, he's on the slinger attach. If he's facing at the back, then I know, hey, he's on the loadmaster.
Okay.
If I go where the loadmaster is here, you can see I'm back here now.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to do that, but the fucking menu reset.
So that's a big indication. But even if they're on loadmaster or even slinger hatch, I just ask, are you ready? Because I need them to be focused for how can we lift, because they're going to give all the guidance. They're going to say, right, you're clear of the load, good to bring it, shifting right, we're above, hold, and good to lift. They're going to give all that feedback that you're going to have. Obviously, you also have the slinger camera to help you, which is out one of the left panels. What I have on my setup is I have a button to change through the right-hand panels and a button to change through the left-hand panels. I keep my right-hand side panel always on my radar, because that's where I'll see missiles coming from. And then I'll open my left-hand panel, just my camera, and then once I'm done sling loading, I'll close it and get rid of it. So I advise opening one of your tabs or whatever for your radar, for your sling load camera, so you have a little bit more feedback. But this should be, your loadmaster's call-out should be priority over that.
Yeah. So to confirm, it's the one that says driver for the slinger.
Yes, and you should see straight down to the ground on nothingness.
Yeah. Yep.
And in the other one, you'll see the camera, my camera. There should be 2 cameras, yeah. So one of them you'll see my camera, and one you'll see straight down.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, we're good to start lifting. Aaron's going to tell you what the crate is and whatever. Oh, I've leaked it now, but.
Yeah. All right, Harrison.
Mhm.
1 times crate to the right-hand side of the bird, about a meter and a half away. Standard length ropes.
Okay, copy.
And we're going to be heading into 1151 for all our drops. We'll probably do 2 or 3.
1151. Yeah. Okay.
That'll be our main HLS.
All right. Cool. All right.
Right, ready to go.
Vortex 1-1 spooling. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Right, power coming up.
Alright, lift up slightly and start shifting forwards and right. Follow
And
the
crates
crate.
to interact.
Yeah,
Crates
and
upside down.
crate.
Watch altitude.
Trying to work out where the crate is now.
Crate's right
rearwards.
inside.
Yeah, rearwards right, isn't it? Yep, shift back about a metre. Oh, right,
Just
I
bring
can-
us up, just bring us up, just bring us
Yeah,
up.
straight up.
This is getting
Yeah.
dangerous now. You did the one thing you should never do when lifting a crate, Harrison, of which is to decrease your altitude. Right, after the initial get up, we started decreasing again and nearly hit the
Right.
crate. If you did that with something bigger, then Chinook explodes, right? The second you bring up, you never decrease altitude, you're always committed. If you need to, we just say, right, cut ropes and we go around. Never should a
Right.
Chinook come down, because you don't know where that crate's going to be, where it's going to drag, or the rest. And then we end up with Chinook going inside and we have Chinook explode. So, second you're up, you never decrease. It's always either cut or commit and just go for it. Most things, if you're not overhead, you can still just lift and then just go underneath and it's fine, right?
Yeah.
We want to be lifting with crates and things underneath the Chinook. But if we don't, then it is what it is. Anyway, we'll continue towards HLS. 1151. 1.8k to go.
Okay.
And we're 1.4k. Smoke's popped. 30 seconds.
Oh, I forgot something as well. Crate lifted at 15.
50. Right, cool.
900 meters. So I advise bringing altitude slightly down to about 40, 50,
Okay.
and then keep your cyclic backwards while you're doing that. And cyclic backwards,
Alright, vehicles are seen.
Right, last is going to be a stone wall.
Bike is seen. And crate in. Not quite past, keep going forward.
And cyclic forwards. What's your collective? What's your height rise?
Right, no obstacles under the crate. Okay,
Oh, it descends rapidly, that.
going down, and keep going down, nice and steady. And
Crate on deck.
released. I love having my ropes on a key now, Warren.
That's
Makes
fair.
my life so much easier.
Right, we'll head back to the apron, keeping us spooled. Pretty good. We had a little bit of forward speed when we were dropping that crate.
Yeah.
But Aaron's a very quick cutter, which is awesome. Other Loadmasters aren't as quick at cutting ropes, which can cause problems.
Yeah. I was kind of caught out a bit by how quickly it descended, and then I was watching that, and then I was obviously took out half the speed, so...
I was going to say, Warren,
Again,
I'm now
it's all
only
in
so
collective
quick.
management.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only so quick now because I've got it set to a key bind.
Yeah.
Quite good at the moment with my flight controls in front of me. I've got my keyboard to my left hand and my mouse to my right hand, so I can look around and just have my thumb ready on the key. Don't have to sort of reach over my keyboard or something. Maybe I'll load it like this in future. Awkward when I want to run about.
Right, we'll do one or two more of those and then we'll call it a night. It's about 20 to 10, so
Yeah.
I want to be heading off in the next 15, 20 minutes, so...
I was going to say that the time has sort of flown by since you started.
Yeah, it does. Normally does in this, of course.
Alright, the crate isn't on the actual landing point. It's out the way.
That's fine, you can Zeus it over.
Oh yeah. I Zeused it from the HLS to here. 3, 2, 1, 0, and on.
7 down.
Right, cargo slung up right hand side, about 1.5 meters, standard ropes.
Okay. Ready?
Already.
Cool. I'll come in on.
Alright,
So forward cyclic. Really try and react to that.
right, crate is up at 10. Not quite over, but lifted fine.
Yeah, we dragged the crate underneath us. So really try and be as reactive as possible, right? Second it starts going backwards, second you want to get that forward cyclic
Yeah.
on. And watch our altitude, we're too high. We can probably go 50 the whole way. I would advise going about 60, but don't rise much higher than that.
Okay.
And I apologise in advance for how many times I'm going to say we're too high on Wednesday, but it will happen. Happens
That's
to
fine.
everyone though. All new pilots is just constantly, you're too high, you're too high, you're too high. Right, we're 1.5, 30 seconds. I'm going to be late on smoke, there we go.
Alright, vehicle seen the walls.
Yeah, water final.
Yep, keep going forward. Crate is past obstacles.
Good speed,
your
good
tie
height. So try and bring off that speed and then bring down that height.
Alright, keep going down nice and steady. Down, 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 and crate on deck released. Away we go. That was a lot smoother.
No, that was really, really good.
I felt happy with that one.
Yes. Cool. We'll do one more. This time I really want to try and get an overhead lift, because right now we have the spin drag and the crate.
I'll do my best.
Warren, did you just delete the crate?
Yep.
I was going to drag that back over.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what you've been doing. I normally delete them and replace them new.
I thought,
I'm not a dragger.
Save a crate.
Fair.
Alright, it's placed out the way. I'll Zeus it over when we get back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, on.
Safe on deck.
Alright. Rate is slung right hand side, about 1.5 meters standard rope length,
Okay.
and all ready to go.
Right. Lifting.
So that's back crate up 10.
Alright, 2.4k.
Mm-hmm.
And 1.7,
Okay, opposite.
1.5, 30 seconds, smoke is out. And 1.1k. Last obstacle's going to be a stone wall again. We've got power lines below.
Okay, maintaining.
Should be clear.
Yep, clear on the power lines. Clear down to about 25-ish.
So start to bring that speed back.
And past the walls.
Aaron, I want
Clear
you
under.
cutting it after 5 seconds on deck, please. Don't cut it straight away.
Alright. Nice and steady down. Down and on deck.
On deck, now hold. And good to cut. Cool.
On.
Awesome,
Straight away.
very nice hold after that. Cool, and we'll call it there.
They work.
Me, that felt so wrong. And both goes to crate.
Awesome.
I can
Cool.
close the hatch and sit on the door. Possibly fall out because desync.
I think Harrison's going to be known as a pretty good pilot for that stuff, honestly. I think he's got pretty good internet connection. So,
It's unlike people like Bartos, which I don't ever to change seats with.
yeah.
A bit of a
Right.
doom.
We're going to call it there. No, honestly, been a very good evening. We've in everything you've done, you made really good progress, so
Yeah.
it's really good to see.
I'm very tired now.
No, I can tell. So yeah, I really do, just jump on,
Yeah,
do some of that random training I said, right, so, set a HLS, say, right, challenge yourself, how close can you get before stopping. It's all about learning and being able to see what a Chinook is going to be doing in 5 seconds, right? The
Yeah.
second you kind of learn the bird and the rest, you really do fly well. It was a slow loading, obviously, spawn on a crate next to your bird, stung it up, do the whole coming over it, the rest, go to HLS. Those last two were really, really, really good. and also really good, nice selective control. So if we can apply that towards a normal HLS as well, really good. So, yep, I'm gonna get your voucher crest in and your promotion in,
Hooray!
which would be great. And then I will just advise to do some stuff for Wednesday. Just keep yourself in it if you do have any time.
Yeah.
You know.
Possibly. Oh my god, Monday, Tuesday might be alright to get the bit in.
Yeah, I mean, it only has to be for like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Even if you just hop on quickly before we're off and just do something, get yourself warmed up, it's all good. But yeah, then we jump into op, which I try and ease people into it. I often will say to your bird, hey, expect doing all the sling loading and all the kind of trickier stuff, and we'll just keep it nice and simple and into operation stuff, so should be good. Right,
Alright.
I'm tired as well, so I'm gonna definitely jump off, and I'll see you Wednesday.
Yep.
And feel free to DM me with any questions, and if you want someone to come on and do some training with you, just pop a Charlie mess or something and just say, hey, anyone up to jumping on and do some stuff, and Aaron might be around and me might be around.
I was literally just going to say, Harrison, if you want to do some sling load practice stuff, feel free to just message me. I'm normally free most of the day.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, at least.
Okay, cheers, mate. Will do.
Cool. Right. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Yep. See you later.
Bye-bye.